outside of all of this. The data professionals have to get to and see the reading.
Those are the kind of guys that will be early adopters with their literacy programs.
Analytics, storytelling that you do need to bring into the curriculum, that they are as close to the network of driving that culture.
So I nearly started smiling ear to ear when you started with that comment, because my follow-up question, as you know, with the work that we do as a data literacy provider in Africa and all of the customers that we've worked with, is our main goal is to make people empowered through knowledge and skill sets in order to become better at what they do. And the reason why I was going to smile like a Cheshire cat, if I pronounced that correctly, was, do you agree that organizations need to find a balance between fear and FOMO, the fear of missing out? We need to find how to leverage how technology can drastically change your organization for the good. But that's coupled to, again, education, knowledge, skills, experience, and an ongoing data culture. It's not something that we execute in January and we walk away and say, well, that's done for the year. This is going to be, from our point of view, and you've reinforced this, an ongoing thing for organizations in the modern day. It has to be a culture of ongoing activity.
100%.
I was just smiling ear to ear when you were saying the words fear, and how do we shift that perception?
Yeah. Well, and you bring up the term FOMO. I hate to say it in this sort of cynical way. The companies that don't do something could be gone. I mean, it's not only a fear of missing out, it should be a fear of annihilation. Now, that's that scary side. But when you go through education, you go through innovation, you go through development, you go through structure, hopefully you're preventing it. And so it's the interesting thing is the acceleration of innovation is fast, right? So what are we doing to combat that? It's education, it's taking the time to study, it's innovation, it's shifting if needed, right? Netflix, the big streaming giant. Do you know how it started? At least in the States? Mail-in DVD rentals. You'd put online, you'd pick your DVD, they send it to you. When you're done with it, you send it back. Your next one on your list, if it's available, gets sent to you, right? Now it's a streaming giant, right? Innovation and changing with the times, right? And I'm not sure about in South Africa. I'm sure there are examples of businesses that didn't innovate that are no longer around. Blockbuster Video, if you've heard of that in the States, how many people go to Blockbuster anymore?
Kodak, good example.
Kodak, prime example. Yeah. And as I recall, they invented the digital camera, and it was like, nah. Blackberry, right? And they wanted to keep, I believe one of the founders just wanted the keyboard. And I think he thought it was stupid that you had a touchscreen keyboard that wasn't always there. Who won? Yeah. You know, but that's why you need the literacy and the education to see and come back to emotional intelligence and self-awareness. Am I humble enough to say my ideas that have worked for 10 years no longer do? What do we need to do? If we put that tent pole in the ground and we don't move, that might be why you struggle.
Yeah, and it's a great point, that example of Netflix, because you know what they did really well is there's a basic need, which was people wanted to have access to entertainment DVDs, but they truly digitally transformed. The need stayed the same, but they didn't just layer a digital process on top of getting the DVD to someone. They transformed their delivery model. They used the technology effectively. The commercial model used data for predictive. What program would you also like because you watch this particular program? So they really applied proper digital transformation through the use of data.
And there was a humility to them. Because when streaming came to be, if I remember at the price point, didn't change. Then they changed it and they doubled it. And I think we canceled. And it might have almost put them out of business. Don't quote me on that. You'd have to study it until they had the awareness to shift or whatever. Because it was, DVDs, now you can have streaming for free. I think it was a pure double of the price. And you're like, I don't want to double my price, so I'm out. And then there's the awareness, and then they weaned away the DVDs and went to streaming. And so not only was it the digital transformation, adoption, and innovating, but there was a self-awareness of, oh crap, we screwed up. Yeah. And how do we shift this and to regain it? Now, Netflix is probably the giant out of all of them. And you've had other organizations, Amazon Prime, I think it's Showmax here, HBO Max in the States, follow suit. Even the great Disney came up with Disney Plus, right?
And that's the exciting opportunity for everybody, is the fact that there's going to be so many transformations.
Yeah.
Because it becomes a confluence and a tipping point, confluence of multiple technologies, mobile technologies, broadband, internet, great digital screens, and all of those things put Netflix past the tipping point. And all of a sudden, it was an affordable, quality, go anywhere viewing experience. And the model has changed forever. In every organization, there's those transformational options now: AI, robotics, automation. These things are coming at us, and the people within the organization that can combine those skills, keep the customer in the center of it, and reimagine those business models, there's going to be lots of room for new exciting jobs and ways to apply this.
And I would say, don't try and do everything. You're going to spread yourself too thin. What is your company good at? Use data to figure that out. What are you really good at? Where's your niche? Innovate with it, and maybe it turns you in a totally different direction. And that's great. But then harness there's so many opportunities that could come to be. But you have to have the literacy, you have to have the trends, the innovation. You take content and courses from you guys, because now you're learning how to be innovative versus just sitting back and watching everything pass you by. The only time that's good is being on a safari and you watch the animals pass you by versus them coming at you.